investments. What we'd like to talk about today is we'd like to talk about presenting. We'd like to talk about your pitch. Just to give you a little bit of background. If you attended this session last year, this is all new stuff. The reason why it's all new stuff is because I went to SCAPE, Southwest Colorado Accelerator Program for Entrepreneurs, and asked them what they thought about the stuff we went over last year. And long story short, we tossed it all. Pretty much started from scratch, and that's what we're doing. And so that's what we're going to go over today. I think that this is going to be hopefully a tremendous value add, and the information that we're providing to you hopefully will help you actually not only pitch for Hawk Tank and win the competition, but it'll also help you when you go and pitch to venture capitalists. And that obviously is one of our chief goals here at Hawk Tank. Starting you out with a little quote. We should just stop calling these things presentations altogether. Everyone gets hung up on that word. Wouldn't it be easier just to call them conversations? Because that is what you're going to need to do to win Hawk Tank, to get that funding from venture capitalists, from an angel investor. And so that's really, we're going to hopefully help you have that conversation. More or less, this is what we're going to put, and I'm going to send it all to you. I'll send it to all the team leaders, just so you know what it is. Okay? Any questions to start? Let me just see if I have a clip there. Mr. Masner there, probably myself, a couple other professors. This is where you are going to get that polish and really distance yourself from the competitors. In addition, we've invited a company that has gone through the SCAPE program, the SCAPE Accelerator program, to actually pitch their company for you. Because there also were some participants that asked for that. They said, can we see someone actually pitch their idea? So instead of just giving you a video from, let's say, a SCAPE pitch, right now Elizabeth Marsh, who is the director of SCAPE, is finding a company to come on March 17th to actually start that workshop with them pitching their idea. Okay, I'm really excited about that. So that's going to be March 17th. We then have March 27th. 10 days later is when your business plan is due. We will announce those results on the 6th of April. Then the teams that make it to the second round, they will be coming at 8:30 on Saturday morning, on tax day, April 15th, and you'll be presenting to our finals judges. If you make it past the second round, you will have an intimate meeting with our finals judges. It will be one-on-one with your team and the judges. And from that, we will announce the winners that night at the banquet. If you make it to the second round, your team is being invited to the banquet. Everyone on your team. And this is kind of a new addition that we're doing this year, is because it truly is a celebration. If you make it to the second, if you submit a business plan, we need to celebrate that. If you make it to the second round, we're going to celebrate that, and that's what we're doing. So please, please mark that off on your calendar. I want you to spend the entire day with us. That's the plan. Any questions on that? Cool. In terms of the business plan expectations, all this information is online, but this is kind of really a high-level overview of certain areas you may want to explore to include in your business plan. Once again, this is all online. Any questions on this stuff? I think you guys probably have this memorized. Probably know this better than I do at this point. Cool. Here's how we're going to score. There might be some small modifications. If there are any changes whatsoever, all team leaders will be given the updated scoring rubric prior to the competition. Okay? That I promise, that I guarantee. As you can see here, your business model strength at 25 points, 25% is the largest category. We then go down to business model viability. That's at 20%. Your resource assessment, we have it at 5. Your team is at 5. Milestone progress, right? Where do you expect to be at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? We're looking at 15 points. And the last two, your marketing plan, 10 points, and financial projections at 10 points. Did everyone receive the Excel model? Okay. That is amazing. Once again, we want to thank Scape and Mr. Masner for taking the time to put that together for you. We've had it reviewed by Dr. Hilliard. We've had it reviewed by Dr. Moll. We've had it reviewed by Beta Alpha Psi. And I'll just say that they echo, I think, your sentiments and mine. It's a really nice value add for you. So please, please leverage that tool. Any questions? Pretty straightforward? You good? There are some deductions. I'm a carrot type of person, right? More so than a stick. But the devil is in the details. So, if you don't follow the formatting, the page numbers, you want an executive summary, table of contents, you will have slight deductions. I don't foresee this happening for anyone, but I want to make you aware that that's where you could potentially receive some minor deductions. So that's the business plan. Now, in terms of your presentation, we'll be focusing on, obviously, your organizational skills. We'll be focusing on the content, and we will definitely be focusing on your communication skills, how you're actually presenting the information. You'll get a lot of that advice on Mr. Welch's stack. We won't go into tremendous detail on that. I think that's stuff that we can do it on one-on-one, but we will make some suggestions and give you some advice on that also. Now, this is how it breaks down, just so you see. We use a 5-point Likert scale. This is not nice. There we go. The visual aids, organization. We're looking at your general presentation skills. Did you involve the audience? Did you answer questions? Did you meet the judge's expectations? Was the material that you presented actually accurate? Any questions on that? Did we alleviate some of that uncertainty, I hope? Mm-hmm. It's pretty straightforward. Good. Okay. The only thing to add to this, and hopefully you're going to get this in your practice, you are going to have a time limit. We'll go over that. Also, the one point we haven't mentioned is how your transitions are. How do you transition from one slide to another? How do you, if you're going to have more than one speaker, how do you transition from one speaker to another? But those are really, I think, the core areas. Now, in terms of the content, you need to know who your audience is. I will tell you ahead of time who every single judge is. You might want to, if you're going to make it to the second round of finals, maybe do a little bit of research on who the judges are. They will be high visibility enough that you will be able to Google them and get information on them. If there's anything additionally you want, definitely come to my office, shoot me an email. I'll try to fill in any holes you may have. And also, you want to use tangible examples. If you have a product, you may want to try to bring up an example of your product. And it doesn't have to be a finished product. It doesn't have to be super sexy. We said this, I think, in an earlier workshop. I think our first workshop, we had a team last year that had a really great idea about coming up with a sport wallet. And the judges wanted to see an example of it. They actually had one, and it was actually held together by staples. So it wasn't very refined. But let me tell you, it made an impression with the judges because they could hold it, they could see it. Now it was no longer in their head. For some of you, that's not going to be possible. But then I would definitely expect some renderings maybe of your of your good, what you're going to sell. Because you want to make sure that whatever picture you want to create for the judges, in their minds, you're able to create that. In terms of right now, what we're thinking about in terms of your audience on April 15th, this is going to be open to the public. It's going to be at Rochon Concert Hall. It's a beautiful venue. If you've never been there, I can try to get you access ahead of time, just so you know kind of the layout. I can show you some pictures of how we laid it out last year, if that sort of helps you also prepare. I would be more than happy to do that. You probably will have a full room, okay, of interested individuals, not only participants, parents, other students, and the public. So you need to sort of be prepared for that mentally. In terms of the judges, right now we have 3 confirmed judges for our finals judges. We have Mark Daigle, the president of First National Bank of Durango. We have Allison Akalele, I think I'm totally butchering her last name. It's actually changed. It's not Morrissey anymore, so I apologize for not updating that. And she is the La Plata County Treasurer. She is the elected official that handles all the money in La Plata County. And lastly, we have the director of SCAPE, which is, as you know, is our local accelerator program. I'm also happy to tell you that last year's winner actually got accelerated into the accelerator program, but the Mate Exchange actually was accepted into the SCAPE program, which had actually already begun. And they fast-tracked the Mate Exchange through their program. That gave Mate Exchange access to quite a bit of additional financial capital. SCAPE told me today that they're going to make that opportunity available again this year for the right team or teams. And that is a huge win for the Hot Tank as well as for the participants. I'm really happy to be able to report that to you all tonight. We will probably have 2 more judges. Last year we had John Walgamot, who is the founder and he's the chairperson for Stone Age Tools in town, one of our larger manufacturing companies. And we also had Mark Katz, who was a co-founder of Mercury Payment Systems. And so that's the level of individuals that you'll be pitching to on April 15th. In terms of first round judges, we now have a number of volunteers that have stepped up from First Southwest Bank, from SCAPE, from Swan Global Investments, but we'll be finalizing that list over the next couple of weeks. During spring break, I'll be having a judging norming session. So we're actually going to train the judges. They're going to get their rubric. We're going to talk about what the rubric means. We're going to talk about how they interpret the rubric so we can get as much consistency among all the judges as possible. Also, one change that we're going to try to enact this year, it's going to be tough, is last year what we did is we had teams of judges for first round. So we had a 3 judge team, and they were given about 10 to 12 business plans. They analyzed those. We put it into a centralized database, and I think we had 3 or 4 teams. So we're looking about 9 to 12 judges, and teams got all that feedback, as well as we had Dr. Clay, as well as a statistician from Swan Global Investments, cranking all the data, and that's how we rank ordered everyone. This year, what we're going to try to do, if possible, is we're going to get a core of 5 judges, and we want them to review every single business plan. That's what we're trying to do. We want that consistency is really going to be the goal. That's what's driving that. But just so you know, we might do teams, or we might do that one team model where they have them all. Once again, I will put you guys in the loop once we sort of finalize that. Any questions on that? In terms of your presenting. Remember, we want a conversation. You want to get away from the monotone. You want to use an expressive voice. You want to have handouts. You want to have visual aids. Absolutely. I'm even going to tell you what size font I think you should have. Well, I'm not telling you. Actually, we're going to use kind of the norm, the model. You need to answer your audience's questions to the best of your ability. So, how are we going to do this? I want you to use PowerPoint, Prezi, whatever you want is fine. If you want to use no visuals, that's okay too. I recommend you use visuals. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Handouts, no handouts. What do you think about handouts? What are your guys' take on that? What do you think?
Can be kind of distracting.
Could be distracting, perhaps?
Unless it's something really simple or really tangible, like a diagram of your product or something.
I would leave it at that. You want them to be fixed on you and your team and what you're saying. And so be really cautious about the handles. Make sure you really, really read. As for who presents, it could be just the team leader. It could be the team leader and the entire team. But the implication is the team leader is going to drive the presentation. That's what we're looking for.
What do you think in the terms of having the team leader presenting and then other team members up there with them in order to help add to it if any questions?
I think that's great.
Okay, but do you think it would be awkward if they're not particularly talking?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think as long as when the very beginning, Ian, that you tell the audience what's coming at them.
Okay.
You tell them that you're the main presenter. You introduce your other team members. You tell them what their role is. And you say that the team members will remain up there for any Q&A because they're all going to have their individual expertise. I think that's fine.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Any other questions? Now, Guy Kawasaki. Do you know who that is? Any idea? You what? Take a guess. It sounds good. I love guesses. See if you can see a picture of him. No? I'm not sure what. So, who this gentleman is he's actually one of the early members of Apple. So in '84, he was the one responsible for going around and pitching Apple products. And he came up with this rule when it comes to presentations. He calls it, even some circles, they call it the Kawasaki 10-20-30 rule. And I recommend that we try to follow that rule if possible. So what? 10 slides. That's what he says. 10 slides. No more. Now, we have some leeway there. What he was saying was this, is that venture capitalists, no matter how smart they are, can only really manage 10 concepts at one time, from his experience. So that's what he says. You should, 10 concepts, 10 slides. Make sense? So now what do you want to put it in, right? Because hopefully it's your next question. So this is what he says. Okay? And there's no golden rule here. I will never tell you you have to put all these in, or the next 10 that I'm going to show you, or 8 I'm going to show you. But I think you should triangulate and have perhaps a large number of these. Remember, you are selling your service or good to the judges. These judges have tremendous amount of experience in this domain, and these are the general areas that they're looking for. So, top 10 venture capitalists. Number 1 is, what's your problem? Right? And hopefully you guys have been practicing this. I know you have, because some of you have been doing your elevator pitch up. Right? What's your solution? That's your good and service. That's what we're looking to do. What is your business model? What's the underlying magic? What's your technology, if that's what you have? And yes, even if you have, let's say, a good, there is some technology that's driving that. And so that's what you want to talk about. You want to talk obviously about your marketing and sales. How are you going to get the word out? If it's a brand new product, a new industry, guess what? That's going to be the big part. It's going to be a big part, is educating the market. So how in fact are you going to do that? What's the competition doing? And please do not tell the judges there is no competition. Okay? Please do not tell them that. Because in their mind is people have a problem, they have resources to help solve that problem, and most likely they are doing something. It may not be the best, it may not be that great, but they are doing something, and so talk about that. Okay? We also want to know who your team is. I recommend that you do try to get the most well-rounded team as possible. Some of your ideas, I understand that, look, you're probably going to be a one-person show to begin with. But my guess is you might need some help in the finance area. You might need some help in the marketing area. Now you're trying to come up with your story. Who's going to support you? Remember, your team does not have to be a Fort Lewis student or a Fort Lewis alumnus. It can be a parent. It can be someone in your community. We want them involved. Okay, so that's going to be a part of it. And you saw the points, right? You saw the points. So you know sort of how we're going to judge that. The milestones, you saw that already. They also are going to want to know what the status is, what your timeline is going to be. Are you already live? Tell them that. When are you going to go live? And then lastly, what is the call to action? Right, for venture capitalists, it's going to be money. For the judges, it's going to be, I should be the best. I should win $5,000. That's their call to action. And then, of course, probably a little bit before that, kind of a summary of what you've just told them. So that's what Kawasaki says. That's what he says. So you follow a 10, 20, 30 rule. And I'll get to those other numbers. I'll get to 20 and 30 soon. But in terms of those 10 slides, this is what he said was really beneficial when he was doing the rounds for Apple back in the 80s. What does Skate say? Right? You already know the director of Skate is going to be a finals judge. Right? There's probably going to be other Skate board members that's going to be first round judges. So, Skate says, and hopefully you see similarities here. There should be some tremendous overlap. So, who are you? What are you going to do? Right? We're also going to talk about problems. What problems are you solving? Really mirrors that. How are you going to solve the problem? Who are your competitors? Define, and what is the size of the market? Hopefully you got that from Mr. Masner from that the first sort of finance and marketing. If not, we have a tremendous amount of resources to help you with that. How are you going to enter the market? How are you going to win customers, right? And hopefully you see the theme about your value prop, right? Your value proposition is all going to be that common thread that's going to drive this. How are you going to make money? What are your five-year revenue projections? Thank goodness you have that model from Mr. Masner. That's going to make your life really simple. One point I want to make on that is, please take those assumptions seriously. Because let me tell you, last year's competition, that constantly came up with the judges. What was the rationale of that number? And it was the teams that could articulate that won. Really it is. Because that gets to the viability, right? That gets to the viability. And some of you I know that participated last year, I know that was one of your challenges that you had, was really showing that viability of your model. And then lastly is how much money you need. That was one of the questions our speaker for our 4 o'clock session talked about. That's one of the questions they asked John. John, how much money do you need to get your app up and running? Right? Thankfully he said 100,000, right? Good, at least he has a number in his mind, but that's something else that definitely, that's that pitch, right? That's that pitch. Any questions on that? Does that make sense? How much time? Here's the 20. 20 minutes. That's what the 10, 20, 30, that's how much time? 20 minutes. Now, we're going to do it to be a little modified here, so I apologize. Kawasaki says, hey, I know you get an hour for your pitch. Do it in 20 minutes. We're going to give you 20 minutes, but because of our time constraints, we recommend 15 minutes for your presentation and leave 5 minutes for Q&A. That Q&A is critical, you all. It's critical. Because remember, we want a conversation. We want a conversation. Once you get to that conversation point, that's when you know you're winning. That's when you know you're winning. Okay? So that's going to be your time limit. You need 20 minutes, and that includes Q&A. What's the 30? The 30 is the font size. Yes, no joke. He recommends that all your presentation is at 30 font. And the reason, why do you think he says that? Why do you think we say 30 font? What's that? So you can see it. That's one. But why else?
Keeps you from putting too much on the slide.
Keeps you from putting too much on the slide. Do you know what Kawasaki says the reason why people put so much stuff on the slide? It's kind of an interesting thing. I never actually thought of this. It's actually counterintuitive to me. Any idea? Any thoughts? His thoughts are, people put a lot of things on their slide, but they have no idea what they're talking about. That's why they put a lot of things on their slide, so they can kind of read it, right? So he says, use 30 font. Have a discussion. Tell a story. If you want to use visuals and pictures, by all means, yes. But what we don't want is 10 font with lots of words, lots of numbers, because the judges, they want to hear from you. They want to know your story. So that's what the 30 is of the 10, 20, 30. Okay? Any questions on that? Are we good? Less is more. Okay? We are not looking for a document. Yes, it is a billboard. In some respects, it's to keep you on track, but it's also to keep your audience on track. So definitely, be consistent with the formatting. This is one of my big pet peeves. If you ever have me in class, you know this. Ian's in my senior sem. He's going to know this really soon because he's doing his first sort of PowerPoint for me.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I'm a stickler for the details. Why? Why do you think I'm such a stickler for the details? And Ian, don't answer this because you just heard my little soapbox spiel. Why do you think? Why do you think it bums me out when you have inconsistent capitalization? Why do you think it bums me out when you don't have consistent axes label? Why do you think it bums me out when it's a hodgepodge mess? When some of the information isn't consistent? Why do you think at my core it bothers me? What do you think?
You need to be put together.
Okay, sure.
Because it shows that you might not be paying attention to details in your business, or
Sure. Absolutely. I'll even extend it. Graphs, capitalization consistency, that's easy. That's stuff you have control over. If you can't get the simple thing right, my assumption is any type of calculations, any type of real thought is rubbish. Because you can't get the simple things right. How are you getting the complex things right? And remember, venture capitalists, yes, they want to get their money back, they want to make money, but they want to give money out. Right? When you're applying for grants, they want to give you money. That's why they got in the game. HR, you talk about your job and your career development. HR departments want to hire you. Now what they have to do is look for reasons not to. And let me tell you, that not being consistent, having mistakes, having typos, that gives them the reason. That's why it bothers me at my core. Because I know you're all amazing students, and you're going to have amazing careers. But we have to make sure you're prepared. And so that's why we got to really make sure that the details are taken care of, okay? Font size we already talked about. Do you know what KISS is?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. Keep it simple, okay? We know you're smart. The judges know you're smart. Just keep it simple. Stay on track. Okay? Don't make it over complex. Financial projections, hopefully we've just seared that, right? We want to make sure it's well thought out, okay? Definitely get ready for the questions. That's why our next workshop is going to be really important, that you guys participate and actively engage in that, because we're going to ask you those tough questions. We're going to get you ready for the judges' tough questions. Hopefully we're going to make it 10 times harder than the judges are going to make it, okay? And then lastly, and this is no exaggeration, practice, practice, practice. When I looked at the team that won it last year, they followed this to heart and they crushed the presentation. Because it was like clockwork. It was muscle memory for them. So if I give you 20 minutes, you should probably practice up to 20 hours. And I know that seems a lot, but that's a bare minimum. That's a bare minimum. Because you're not only presenting to our judges, for your business that are really viable, you're presenting to SCAPE, so you get to the SCAPE Accelerator program. You're presenting, there will be individuals in that room that invest in new businesses. So that's why we want to make sure that we have you as tight as possible. If you all want to set up some sort of mock presentations, we can definitely do that for you. We can set up another day, maybe a few days before the 15th, for those teams that make it to the second round. We can make that happen. So just keep that in mind. Come to me if that's something you want, and we'll put that together for you. Okay? Any questions, Rhoda?
Are we presenting in front of everybody besides the judges?
There will be a public there, yes.
Other competitors?
If they want to be in the room, absolutely. Because we get to think about why we're doing this, you all. We're doing this for your development. I want to put you in a situation when your heart rate is coming out of your head. Okay? I want to put you in that situation. Because this is low risk. Besides probably a handful of your competitors, we all want you to win. Okay? We all want you to be successful in your life. Your friends are in that room to see you succeed. That's not going to be the case for all your presentations. We want to create that high stress environment for you. So that's what we're going to do. So yes, Rhoda, I'm going to try to pack that room. Absolutely. I want standing room only. And we're going to put a lot of effort into that. We have Durango TV that has been doing a lot of interviews for us. They're actually going to go live with a nice story on the Hawk Tank probably around March 20th or so. And that's going to be our big marketing pitch to get the public into on campus on April 15th to really have you guys put on a wonderful show, because we know you want. Any other questions? I want to show you one more thing. We're actually done. Okay, that's all I have for you. I want to show you one stack that that Mr. Welch put together. I want to get this running. I want to show you something. Okay. So I'm going to send you all of this. So Mr. Welch has a number of business ventures. One of his is a consulting firm. And this is the exact stack that people pay thousands of dollars for him to come talk. And he's giving it to us as a resource. Let's see this last thing. Okay. So I'll let you go through it, but I just want to show you sort of what's in this stack. Very much what we talked about before. He talks about some of the challenges. Okay? This is something that some of you are going to have to overcome. This fear of public speaking. I will tell you, I had a tremendous fear of public speaking. When I think of my first real entrance into public speaking was when I worked for a Swedish nonprofit, and I had a global staff that managed, I want to say around 3,000 exchange students, door-to-door high school students. And I remember I was putting on a training session for them. Pretty much fresh out of college, probably about 22 years old. I used to literally black out. Like, not like pass out, but I just couldn't remember what I talked about. I would just be an automatic pilot. I mean, I'd have everything memorized. And I'd get up there and I'd be just dripping it, white knuckling it the whole way. And I honestly, when I finished, I had no idea what I talked about. I could have been talking about gibberish. And I really would not have known. No clue. So I understand the fear of public speaking better than most. So definitely this idea of practicing is going to be really critical. It's going to be critical that you understand this stuff. The cool thing is you know your business better than anyone. And that's the advantage you have, and that's something I never want you to forget. You know this stuff better than the judges. You know this stuff better than I know it. And so that's what we need you to do. Once again, that offer, if you want to go see the venue ahead of time, please, let me take you. If you want to check out the machines, let me take you, let's do it. If you want to practice, let's do it. Okay? That's how we want to make sure, because remember, this is a developmental program. If you need more resources, we will try to find it for you. That's why we're doing this. That's why Fort Lewis College is doing this. Okay? Okay. I want to show you some things. You know, these are just some general suggestions for you. I will have a clicker for you. I do recommend that you get there early and make sure your slides are exactly what you want. Have a backup plan. What if your slides don't work that day? Have a backup plan. For our presentation today, I have 3 backup plans. I have a stick with my presentation, I have the drive with my presentation, and my presentation's on the desktop. For this event, I have 3 backup plans. I had a clicker. I forgot my clicker. I always have a backup clicker in my bag. I have backup batteries in my bag. Okay? I want you to think this way. If we start at 8:30, Dr. Valdez, can I be there at 8 o'clock, please, so I can see my slides work? Yes, you can be there at 8 o'clock to see if your slides work. Right? So that's what we want to make sure happens. You can test out how loud you have to speak. There's going to be no mic. You won't need it because the acoustics where we're going to have it's phenomenal. But traditionally, or typically, you want to check that out too. If you have someone on your team whose voice doesn't carry and you don't think it's going to represent your company well to the judges, maybe you don't have them speak. Or, Dr. Valdez, we do need a mic for our 1 member. Come to me 7-10 days ahead of time. We'll solve that problem. That's what we do here. We solve problems. Some hand gestures work. Not too many. Right? You want some movement so you can interact with your audience, but you don't want to be running back and forth across the stage. That's usually not a problem for you all. Usually the problem is this. Right? That's usually the problem. So we want, remember, it's a conversation. Now, of course, if some of you talk like this, like normally, okay? Actually, I know all of you don't talk like that. Okay? So no one gets a free pass on that one. Yeah, and definitely, this last one here is, I don't want to see you reading notes out of your hand. Please. This is where that practice comes in. Now, I could see, if you want to write yourself maybe like a couple words, because you really want to make sure you highlight something, that might be something you can do. But I don't want you to be there with your notes. Because then what happens is it cripples you in some respects, right? Like you can't move and you can't pivot when you have to adjust and answer a question. And once again, you are the experts of your field. And you are. I'm good. I think this is fine. I like this. Maintain eye contact. Don't read notes, right? Don't go over the limit. I don't think any of you are going to be too serious. I'm not too worried about that. But these are some ideas. But one thing, you guys can go through all of these. Mr. Welch, I just got through this today. Okay. That's fine. You want to have a good opening. You want to have a good closing. You want to have some good transitions. What do you think makes a good opening? Let's talk about that for just a couple minutes. What do you think? What do you think makes a good opening? Think about a great presentation you've seen. What makes a good opening?
Something that catches your attention right off the bat.
Absolutely. Right? It can be a quote. It can be a story about yourself. A lot of you are going to be articulating a problem. How are you going to humanize that problem? How are you going to make the judges understand that that problem is real? So we definitely want to have a good opening. Lastly, that close. That's that call to action. Now you have to be careful, but I would admit, if I was doing this, I would say the call to action is, obviously, I want to be the winner. Okay? Now, of course, you're going to have to make that a little smoother, but we want to have a nice closing, right? Hopefully, you're going to show them that you can solve that problem. Any questions on that? Make sense? Okay. Of course, Mr. Welch had this. This is what he recommends in terms of your environment. Okay. I recommend you go check out Rochon Hall before the competition. I really do. Okay. The pianos will be moved out, so you won't have to contend with that. We'll have a big projector. We'll have whiteboards for you. We can have a flip chart for you. You tell us what you need. We'll make it all available. At a bare minimum, we'll have the ability to present your PowerPoint, Prezi, whatever, and we'll also have those whiteboards. There are no pillars. There are no obstacles, so don't stress about that. The acoustics are phenomenal, so we will not be miking you. At least it's the plan right now. If we do mic you, then we probably want to put together a session so you can get familiar with the mics. And we'll do that. If we're going to mic you, we probably want to get together just so you kind of understand how the mics work and get comfortable with it. And you just talk at the normal tone, or the normal pitch. Okay? And then in terms of the group size, Rochon Hall, 80 people or so. Oh, this is a good one. When you're practicing, slow down. One of the first things we do when we get nervous is talk really fast. Let me tell you about my value proposition. You get really excited, you're passionate about it. Slow down so people can really internalize your wonderful idea, your wonderful service, your wonderful product. And I love this. Have fun. I wish when I was an undergrad that I had the opportunity to speak in front of the president of the oldest bank in town, in front of the director of the accelerator program that may take my business under their wings. And no matter what happens in the competition, you are all winners. Just think about the network you created. Just think about how you polish your professional skills, right? Just think about that you have taken your idea to the next step regardless of what that next step is. Oh my goodness, what a winner. So just, yeah, have fun. And the judges want you to win. They do. They can't wait to see your ideas. At the conclusion of last year's competition, I can't tell you, I told you we had this team of judges. I can't tell you the number of judges that emailed me and said, Michael, can I see all the business plans? And I'm sure over the weekend they spent hours combing through them because they love this stuff and they are so excited about your good work. Okay? Here's some other resources for you. And once again, I'm going to send you this stack from Mr. Welch, but there's some more for you, okay? And that's it. And I know we went through it quickly. I just wanted to make sure that you sort of, we had an opportunity to talk about a couple of things that weren't on the presentation. Any questions at all? Anything at all? So, I'll forward you all this information that we went over tonight to the team leader. That's number one. Number two is please get on your financials. Okay? Please get on those. If you need more help, we have the financial consultant from Beta Alpha Psi. They're making themselves available, a tremendous resource. Please do not hesitate to ask for their help. Remember, when you're asking them for help, you're actually helping them polish their skills. So this is a win-win. So don't ever think that a question is not at a high enough level to ask your consultants. They're there to answer any questions you have. And of course, Dr. Hilliard's there for you. I'm there for you. We'll wrestle in Dr. Mole. Right, he's not here, so I can volunteer him too. But we're all here to help you succeed. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, remember, think about presenting on the 17th. We want to have 5 or 6 teams presenting. I'll bring some pizzas in. I'll bring some drinks in. We want to make it a really kind of upbeat event. And then don't forget, we are going to have one skate company come here and do a full-blown presentation for you also, just so you can see how to do it. Okay? Well, thank you all. Good luck. Have a great night.
What about that YouTube video you guys loaded up?
Oh, sure. You can just leave it off. It's fine. Here we go.